yeah, session to you. Didn't the American?
No,
Yeah.
no prayer today, right? Okay.
You're there in Jim, so much television, also. Sergin Dodge, a lot of me, from the high. Yeah. Don't go to the church, Tom, she said. Dog Kadak Chagashi, church, Tom, she said. Take all cousin Lama to share.
Today we're going to talk about the 4 great seals of Buddhist tenets that we will be continuing after where we left last time.
Oh, yeah. Down the jet, I'm the Midaba city. Dali Geshe Sara. Koe to be the jet. Down the jet, I'm the Midaba race. Church Thompson and Tambutira.
So first of the 4 seals is that all composite things are impermanent. Impermanent.
Oh, yeah. That is Koe ne Lu Longula Soba. Oh, there's some time just over. Oh, Tenukarsore. Juta Kenkin Duchevares. Juda came on Sobal Ten Chevasonza. Koni Kejilia. Gurundon Geshe. This was a catching man. 2,000. Takbeng home have a Manjurian home manager. 2,000 Yugas and Geshe.
So that means all the physical things like our bodies, our human body or our physical bodies, and all the things that we possess, possessions, all the possessions, since they are made out of so many things coming together, composite of so many things coming together. That's why there is, because of that condition, there is a fleeting moment of moving all the time, second by second. There is a fleeting moment all the time. That is the nature of all the composite things.
Oh, yeah, Duje Kangako Tambo Karsore. Get Tene Jew said Ravachi Ungurnaze. Oh, Tesam Marese, Tesam Sigua Marese. Oh, and Kejilia. Namanji Chiman, you couldn't think you should do your race. Oh, the Tavimita was Ungura.
So, apparently, we all know that there is a time when it begins, when the birth happens or when things begin. And there is also a time to our sense that things kind of stays. We think there are 3 things happens. First is the beginning and the middle where the things stay, and then it changes to where it diseases, where it stops, where it diseases, where it ends. So there are 3 things. Those are kind of things that are rough, and we understand those happenings, those situations we understand. But within that movement, within that 3 moments, there are very, very subtle moment of time that goes on changing all the time. There's no time that stays. So every second we move on, changing from one to another thing.
Oh, yeah, that is Sanjay Chomden. Duje Tamjamidaware, Keshi Jibare, Sun Karet on the Sungoresana. Chidanko Trudama Consato. Takba Yore Sarah. Sosota de Tabare, Jurayomare. Lüdi tosin yorgere, yine daha de takvar yaşar. Eni bu tozo ke ne göre tama dilenecek doğru yaşar. Narazu milik içine kotan bu ki eni mesikası den tama dilişin doğadışıyla cibası resmado. Geci kon yura çecik doğadı haku yomara. Geduza ko tup devange dağla soba takba zimbata. O tenin aranzu çidan mile ko lo lenge nalı. Tup devange maride lo lenge nalı. Yani kese yobede tanda yobandaç. Tanda yobede kese yobandaç. Dün dene ko. Ama sosu de tanda yobesa. Tanda de ngema ne yobeson de samu koyara. Aranzu tanda yobemedi ngema yomara lo nişosum jingapju gejungel yomara. Ti yobeneni kengoche tinde medingene ko arbati yomara. Cheza ko keji manjurje ko ti tanda ngene yo tinde tengerish. Tangzi yora dün dinsi yora da. Ngame tu da chime tu ngobni tindene. Chikbachi sembo tinde lochi yora. O tezu ba shiye tandal tu dewange. Ta takbala soba tachi to re samsa. Eni lo lenge chida minalia. Keji ngama chima yo tanda ngeli yo samsa. O tinde dün jeban zimbe. Zimbatin doye tandalya. Düche samse mitawa sungora. Ne tan lü longjule soba mitawa re sungora.
So, Lord Buddha said that everything is impermanent, and that is because in the doctrinal tenets of other philosophical groups, they believe in self, that which is self. They believe in self as kind of permanently existing self. They believe in that self, and so they do not believe in that self is always changing. They don't believe that. They believe in the permanence of self. That one. And then there is the concept of roughly understanding of little bit changing, that they said things happen at a time, and at a certain time it ends. They accept. But within that small or minute or subtle moment of time is not accepted as a way of impermanence. Certain moments, very subtle moment of that change, subtle moment of change is not accepted as impermanence. They don't consider that. And so in order to refute that kind of belief, then I think Buddha taught that everything is impermanent. For example, I gave the example that individual person like us, ourselves, we always consider that today's person that we are seeing is the same person that we will see tomorrow, or the person that you saw yesterday is the same person that you saw today, you are seeing today. So that kind of belief is the cause that we do not believe in the subtle movements of the time that is passing by.
Oh yeah, that in the castle. Oh, tanda ne. Narazu midexina ko so. Sambuchite sora chomeda sambuchite ko chi jongada nagi sogo chasheda tezu samatamje ko gyuda kenla toshin dene danda ya sambuchite yormado nene söndevde rawa chacha sambuchite yomara timeza lungo ko yore kalasa ko yore nalotu nanje tus kanga tata yin ko yore dinde sambasede ko keji sambaya kigi cheche te ko yormado Rawajan ko sambuche te yomara. Timeduza ko Ngarazo sambu sineda so sineda ya meside ko keji li yugu che ene lokaze de yune gyunja bide ko gyunde tuje tibado tegre samsa samlu de yana midaba keji kin gyure tamadele shindu de tine jigre samsa samlu de yana ragbe midaba da tabe midaba ni samlu de yana o da deni baru kariche ure 소소 메시 가르쳐 그래 삼상 삼로 가리네 내가 제는 가리네 오 대중 결교하나 대중 디마도 요 말이 디버는 jun도 교를 삼바이나 에는 거다다 소소 내가 제거한다 저 디버 된다 가르쳐 그래서 배나 추네 시셔이나 오 메시 디마도 요 말이 데레레레 저도 요래 다 최셔 그래 삼 디버파 천디 짱짱만 봐 교치마 배 디버파 개와 두고 그래 삼상 아니 처음에다 봤었네 티 삼을 때 거라 티 삼을 때인데 그 매제 거라 야부지 깨기와래 티바빵 개와도 넘버 다 버체제 신디 짱짱 전달 티바 마사체 야부지 깨디 되는 시를 남을고 개바 연구 말아 다 매제 거라 배 야부지 깨리니 티바사메 개와 야타지 투지 삼삼사 간란 집에 매버체 대토 그래서 거라
So, for example, like our human beings, we human beings, our body, our life as human being, we are living. Your body is actually, there is a continuity of the process of going on and on and on. Life, there is a process, continuity. And that continuity of life is due to so many factors. Like we have physical factor, it depends on our physical factors and depends on the elements, so many elements and like that. So those elements in combination with the physical body itself, it goes on. The first moment ceases and the second moment comes and gives birth to that life. So, and the life that way continues on. Life continues on, goes on. And so when we have
so that
in that moment, in that process of moving on, changing, then we also have this kind of thing in our mind that in this process of growing and giving birth and ceasing the moment, this birth cease the moment, that moment proceeds, and within that procession, we also know that the ultimate time of our impermanence or our death will occur. So we need to think that all the time, like the ultimate time will occur, because we are always moving, very subtly, always moving forward. So keeping that in mind, that ultimate time of the cessation will come of this body, then thinking that we will be always mindful of what we are doing. We should be mindful of what we are doing. Yeah, because we remember that we are proceeding, always moving forward, very subtly. We're always moving to the end. And that's why we need to be mindful of what we are doing. And in that mindfulness, we need to accumulate the virtues that we need to do to get better and better in our life after life. So accumulation of the virtues and giving up of all the negativities and afflictions. We try to give up and accumulate the virtues. So that way we we can improve and ultimately realize what we want to realize.
Oh, yeah. That's on the call. Oh, then the good don't get seen, but some look could do, or some corner. Koya Pinzo, the Yagarabsina, Pusum saw what is in a court, you do you some call, give to remember something in some such. Oh, uncle, do what is in a court, you don't can't go, I call Duran to your race. Someone Duran to you and get you some quota. Tandan I should out there in some maybe. Oh, someone you want to do this and you want to your race. So Yagachina did our day, my teacher Tamadil, do what you call you are dry or something. Uncle, do it as Jim Ben, young day, you are done, you don't get sona, you have dry over Kanga, you are dry over some town. Oh, this some Koreana. You're a marriage at Tawa to stay in some teletene, and make you among Bushi, you go to Ganga marriage.
So that's why whatever possessions, worldly possessions we own, we possess, and even if they are very good at the moment, they are very precious at the moment, we need to think that this is transitory, very transitory. This is impermanent. This will not last long, and that in that way, our attachment to that possession will be minimized, and likewise, if anything is very disgusting, you don't like it, you don't hate it, even on to those kind of things. To those kind of things also, you do not need to develop a kind of very deep kind of dislike or hatred, because you have in your mind that impermanence, and it will change due to other causes and conditions. So that's why we need to always think everything will move on, it will change, and change is kind of the nature. Everything will go on changing. That's why Juban do resani, Tantikson case. Juban do a biggie.
Oh, you are doing it. Elikongazunam, you are my Jesus garden the Teta to stay in some Tansichora. Tell it then you are a table, Mabusha, there's a never.
So if we hold on to a thought like permanence, thought of permanence, the thought of like holding on to the things like that, then because of the attitude of permanence of things, permanence of self, because of that kind of attitude, we may forget to do the good things. We may become a victim of our own afflictions, and we may do bad things because we do not think that it is always moving and changing. We always think that there is a permanency. With the attitude of permanency, we may commit mistakes. We may do wrong things. So that's why when we are mindful of the impermanence, it will guard us against doing wrong things.
Oh, yeah. Don't do it. Don't do Tamje Midawas. Subject Tamjes, yeah, Duje Tamje Dungawasin, do subject Tamje Dungasin, Duje Tamje Dungasin, Koe, nearly long jealous of one Duje Tamje Skokora. Oh, don't Duje Tamje, yeah, subject Tamjes, Dungawas. Narazu Danda Koe, Neda, Luda, long jealous of what Tezukanga, the engine nervich, Bashil Samgora. Oh, that is someone de Tunganga de Tezulten Yoguaridas. Tungegi Shires. That Tunga de la Mambu Shaver, Tina, Tunga Sumde Shagua.
Yes.
Tina, Talcosing my shares, I patch my sentiment.
Yes.
Oh, Tunga Sum Yogara, Tunga Tunga said, as Kanga Hakoyatera. Tendrinja Hakoya Kongona, the Chimnazataya, that is to Burisha, Mogo, Samsa, the Tendolo, the Kangajigora. Tunga Tunga. Then 켜번 도시기 동해서라. 띵하라도 레다 녀만 발을 때내 랑베 풍부디 류다부터 켜번 도시 동해서라. 띵 코콘게 강가려라. 레다 녀만 병원 그 랑베 풍부치. 어딜 켜번 도시 동해서 띵고 동해 시청게들이. 동해 될 때는 연구하래. 아니 유로의 동해서 해줘라. 유로의 동해에 단단 가서 소화 대화해야 돼. 남경 가서 소화 대화해야 돼. 대화도 다가 내가 말을 거기 대화 인식에 그때 유르제 동해ren도 그래. 그래서 그 단대 대회에서도 지나게 왔던 유르서나 동해ren도 그래. 해야 돼. 동해 좀 되셔도.
Now the second seal, second great seal is in Tibetan we call Thabkhe Dunghewa, which means all composite things are suffering actually. Like afflictions or negativities are suffering. So that is all the things, composite things are source of causes of suffering. It means like that. Afflictions and negativities are sufferings. And in the suffering, actually, Gana said, we told it before also, but again, in the suffering, we have three kinds of suffering. And the three kinds of suffering are, the first one is suffering of suffering. First is the suffering of suffering. And that is easy to understand. Even the animals, they know if they are suffering. They know that they are suffering. So it's easy to understand. It doesn't need high intellectuals to understand it. And then we have the second suffering was called like all pervasive suffering. Chapan that's called in Tibetan, like it's all pervasive dunge. Now all pervasive dunge is because of this body, this physical body, pungpo, this physical body. It is due to this physical body that we have all pervasive suffering. And that is a little bit hard to understand for all of us, like even like me. So third one is Jurvedunge, which is suffering that changes, suffering of change, the suffering of change, changing suffering. So changing suffering, it means like what appears to be like pleasing, what appears to cause happiness, what appears to cause happiness to us at certain time, what appears to be giving pleasure at certain time, it changes into suffering later on. And that is what is called changing suffering.
뭐야 다된데 아주 그신 디키셔서도 지게 에미날 저티샤사 저쇼악 되네 가르사 디 코에 동해라 동해 규디유나 그제 유나 동해라 돼 그래서 코에 대화세데 그 대외 규디 다 유나 대화 내 말은 유네 동해랜도 그랬어 요래 유래 동해데 대화지어로 왔다 대화 요래 대화 되고 담보고 강의를 짓고 요를 넣어서는 대외 소화되는 거래 저래 대화 롱부 요래 소소 삼라 다이나 그뒤 규디 다가 대유네 버루질 거 동해랜도 요래 저래 근데 코에 대화데 대외 규디 대유나 인교는 동해랜도도 저래 코에 동해데 커버에 주는 거나기나 동해 규디 대대버도 그 동해라지 대기도 저래 동해데 그 규디 다유나 너네 대화를 하면도 대화된 유네 규디 다유네 동해랜도도 저래 자티 코에 대화데 동원에서 게 말해서 소삼로 대화를 했어 동해데 동행원에 했어요라 그래서 티 컨데레스 코에 대화데 동행원에 멤버 티고 세시치로 지도 아까서 세시치 좀 맞아 티고 또 시행해서
So there was an internet question about questions. Somebody asked questions like regarding
Joshua Geshe Yeshe.
Joshua in Michigan you talked about. So that time there was a question that says like regarding this changing of suffering, the the temporary pleasure or happiness that we are having has actually the cause of that happiness there, but even then it changes into suffering later on. And also in a similar situation that the suffering also has the cause of suffering there, and that suffering 동해디 주연아양
동해 주디다가 되는 동해라 되고 서라. 대외 주디다가 연애 당부 대바 설무치면 동해라는 거예요.
So the cause of happiness is there, but still it changes into suffering. And whereas for the suffering, it remains kind of permanent suffering. It remains there always. So why is that? That was the question. That's because the suffering goes on suffering. It is like proceeds on suffering. The cause is there, it's suffering. But for the happiness, it just changes. Even though the cause of suffering behind is still there, but still you enjoy the happiness right at this time, it changes into suffering, even though the cause of suffering is, cause of the happiness is there. So why is that? So that was the question.
Oh yeah, this one.
So that going to explain, because we were not able to answer that time. So we're going to say that.
다 동해 주디고 연애 동해한테 된 알아서 나자르 지연으로 거기는 나자르 지는 거나 유나 가리나 그바지니 다르다 쇼기나 동해 주디고에 봐도 동해디 따라냐 되도 된가서 하고 되도 저 동해 주디고나 동해디 따라냐 용어지 되그러면도 커브리스톤에 바로질 갑존에 때와냐지 요마라 그 동해 주디고는 그 동해디 동해라 되도 와서 주디 매마서 봐도
So for the suffering, like even like for example, like for headache or any pain in here, then we try to move that. We try to like through injection or whatever. Still, that suffering is there. It remains there. The suffering remains. Suffering always remains.
Oh yeah, 다 대화대 대외 주디 유나인데 대우면 도시거라. 배나 가르스나 미지 공부기 없지. 친이 또도 시부지키 아니 공부기 없이는 깔래셔 카더라 동에 요라. 다고 또도 대파 법시 설레서 봐 대해 정서나 그 대화 소리라. 이 가르스는 되게 동에 깔래셔 줘라. 그 노로 침백갑들 애는 그 현다 대배 동에 된거 맞수배 봐들 대화 소리가 자다야 오셔 줘서 설레서 야오청소 삼제 대화서 거래. 다이네 거 대대대대 버리 다기나 야말라 다가 대셔네 에네 거 야라니 잠잠 돈이 돈네 배 동해냐 그래야 대시잖아. 진도 야라니 돈도라. 사다긴 거 갈래디에 동해 총도 갑될 거 대회 소화게 그래. 대왕원에 이네 다단다 가제 대네 대화대 다가 대거디 대고 말해서 그래. 버루질 당아 야라 저를 고치세. 양 돈 가르치 그러. 그래서 그 대외 주디에나 대화대다가 대요 말을 강해지 선변 대화직 봐 두밤 지지에서나 뒤값에 소화되기 어려셔래.
So for example, for happiness, for little like pleasure or happiness, for example, like people, for a person, a man, human being, man, walking, carrying a big load on himself, and he's carrying that. He gets tired, and he suffers from that tirement. He suffers. And then he stops, unloads himself, he sits and rests. At that moment, at the time of resting, he will get a relief, kind of relief from that tirement. He get a relief, and he sense a little bit of satisfaction, kind of enjoys that moment of happiness there. Enjoys the moment of happiness there at that time from that tirement. But if he still sits on there, like sitting and sitting and sitting, then after a while he get tired of sitting, and again the suffering begins to come, and he will immediately want to get up and want to walk, go somewhere. So he will feel that. So that is a kind of mental attitude of setting, a kind of mind thing, mental attitude of he temporarily thinks that his mind get a little rest, a little leisure, and so he enjoys that and thinks that. But otherwise, so that kind of thing is the changing nature of the suffering.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Wonderful. Because doctor they kick the up, but kick the they doctor kick coaching, another shiratan gora. And then it's so they got the sukena, those devats over. Current day, another shiratan at the Mavachesa. The jam to do, oh, that was also somebody. You can do me got so sad that I don't get on Mare. Yago Johnson, you had done the day dead. The way in it, the day or the day Mare. Then the another church, Yana Yongura. Second day to me, the ship should do. I didn't take it. They were Lombard. They were Sorgura, so the way is that also somebody mother. To me, the children back up till some time. Did it to me, change return the Haku and got so sad as well.
Similarly, if somebody carries a thing on his this shoulder, he carries it and it gets pain. He changes his load to this shoulder, and then he gets relief from here, and he thinks a little bit relief from here, and he when he moved this luggage onto this, then that time there is not much pain, but pain has already the suffering has already actually began at the moment here. So when he goes on he will be feeling the same thing. So that's why in Tibetan we say lomba, sarang semki. From our mind attitude, you think you have relieved, but actually it's not relieved.
No, better this ever. Bengaruja Nazabe, Nazashu Chimbuchi Naja, Nima Mambuchina, Dawachina, Kala, Samadu Kaleshra. Dayaja Trasona. I would tape give you a person to Kala Satu Nazame, or Yabushichosa, Teveso Hira. Or Tasoputanda Yuna, kill a lot of Koyam and do some sort of tangri. Nemi Bani Tevecho specialist or another Mevade, the one and the church to give us over Tevens. Then I could connect Trasona. At a big give you an image that so one answer managing Carmen and some such Yora. Taco deve, you did that there, the Sunny Telechurch, Tinturci could do Degmare. They you did another Nagio Marta or a Tita or the saw the lip to Yomara. They did Nave to make you Dima Church in Becabde, or Taya was downstairs, so Tanda was some girl. Then the same age, the Baruji coach, so Tanda and Dima, so sometimes and that's it. Ganget Solar Mataja. They were you did I already could take me to a steam to take it. There was some yet so some dancing.
So it all depends on the attitude of the mind. For example, like a person who is very sick, stays in the hospital for like days and days. After he gets cured, and he feels very good and go to home, like very enjoys that. He thinks that even in the text it is said that when you are healthy, that is the happiest moment. That is the happiest moment in life. So, likewise, he will also think that. And later on, as he carries on with his life in that way, he carries on with his life that way, then he kind of forgets that situation. And he starts seeing problems everywhere, something like that, something problems. So likewise, so that's why we have the cause of the suffering, and it is going to give suffering, even time on and on. It is going on giving us the suffering, though it is changing moment by moment, but still it's going to give us the suffering. So it all depends on mental attitude of how we take situations and things in our mind.
Oh, that's so Luda similar sober to Tungena sober, Jay Shida, Gucci, this was a codi, the Wagi, Junior subject, Shenji Chate, some of the Chungtang some Gora.
So that's why our mind and our physical body, this is the basis of all the suffering. That's why our attachment to self and to our physical body we need to try to minimize the attachment to it, so that we will not suffer more if we like that.
Oh, Tandako, Koe, Pusum Sava condition, Hotelia, Tagbardo, Shenji Chani. Oh, Tendecheve, Himarese, Gave Shichimari, Yi Goa Kibeshi, Shinja Chena, did that train to do Tungishu Chimbunoe. Oh, dear Deco, so Soya Regina, Soya Tendo, go at some matter, Jibeshi, which is also the same to the Kagachi Mevedo. Tendeshinja the manner, and your motion do yara.
So
Did the train to do that Tungishu do yara.
For our life, whatever we need, we need to have. Otherwise, do not have very, very strong attachment to the things, to the properties, to ourselves, like that. Those causes the sufferings.
This one.
This doing what yes, So, yeah.
Jason Cotelia Shenji Chapa. Very particular.
Yeah. This physical body and our mind are the basis of. That's why they are the basis of all this suffering. So we need to minimize our attachment to these things that gives us the temporary pleasure or happiness.
Oh, Luigi Kotunga Shichuding as a Hakora. Lunasa de Chimandi Sobutu, the Sayat, Chimandin, that Tungangora. The same get some of them, but them Tunga so some Lusugora, Yigi Tunga.
So we understand that the sufferings that we feel through our physical body, we know that they are causing. And likewise, in mind also, mentally also, there are so many problems that come up and we suffer because of the mental things. So it is just twisting our attitude, looking at things and accepting the right thing.
Oh, some Lutanda in social Mendever, social chok dog, Mendeva, Deva de la Kegres, Chesona, Chinjua cake in a Nagami and the Chi, Sosun Deva the social chok dog, Deva than meeting by Chesona, Kedan Gawas Chesona, Sabatura, Imedora, Tungayungora. Tindiko, Sosu Samlu Tongjoge, around Devanashi Kogi Kanga, near Devada Mitubachi Michevina, Chi Labara, Tunga Chichava Mawata Kalechuna, Kompi Tunga. It's a social Devada Midubashi, and Devala Cake Java. Sosu Chowdogi, Devada Mituba, till the cakes Chosani, Tunga Jagara. Sosu Samlu Tanjoke, Desugara. Tindusako Sosu Samlu de. Oh, samlu tana soso kanya sudu yaw remen sam yucha ko res wara. Samlu yaga jo de samlu tan ko yo sam soso samlu soso do re ko wang de to chawra. Ta dang ran soso de sem de wan tu jur sem de chada ko wan so ne ko kare sam ne tigan rosh de ne kanya shib ji ngo ra sam ya. Ya ti mem bache samlu kare tan yaga to pemba do tu ngai ngo do karma da ni samlu le an ju do chi to sem bache na sem de tu ngai tin yon do yara.
Dans des pêches, sont les médicaments.
Kage
Pêche, comme ça. Donc, ils ont dit.
to leji dunga de ko luli na za da choni yongo ara
Simple.
sembi dunga de la ko
So, the mental sufferings. So, how do we suffer our mental sufferings? That's one thing. So, mental sufferings are like we always think that we want that thing in our way, things to be done our way. We always think that things to be done our way. And when it doesn't happen in our way, our mind gets the suffering. It gets like, you don't like that because it's not going your way, and we don't like that. Or if the things are not going in the way that it should go to our relatives, friends, to the person that we belong to. So that time also we suffer mentally. We suffer mentally because it's not happening the way it should happen according to my way. And that time. So that's why we need to switch our attitude and accept that everything is impermanent. It's going to change because of the changes that occur one time. It will happen in my favor. So that kind of switching attitude will help us minimize the mental suffering.
oh de inde ko da da ko e phusum so ba kan de chi ne ko te le hakbar du shen ji chak ba mirik ba re se ro ni chak ba hakbar du shen ji chak ba ne te ho ge ne te da trawa da chi tran de ma de to me shok shim hi wara.
So that's why whatever good things or good situations that happen, we need to put away our attachment to them because they are not permanent. They are not permanent. It's going to change. So we need to be mindful of the moment of time always. And that will minimize mental suffering.
No ya ta da me da ba tram te da da tung ya se de ko kan ka tung ge ra shi re sam de 기분 징게 ko le tan du tar ban de kan sa ge lam go ya shi se de ora ine na ra zu ki bu chung ine de zo ko shen ja de ka je chung a yu na ya ene de da chi yu do ro che de da tre chi chi de symbol tung yu ya de no ro yo ra.
So actually that is, the mental set of the middle mindset people, like feeling the sadness of the situation of samsara, seeing the sad situation of the samsara, and trying to renounce that suffering and get the goal of liberation. That is the mental goal of the middle-minded Karsa. Jibun dingi wala, jibun dingi. Jibun dingi sembaki tangder wala. Jibun dingi. Tande korban ya tarayadi, jibun dingi.
Re. Ina ta ngarazu jibu chungu kuwa le tangde lo shukshimbu mena ya. Dile shenja chungru shina, dedan doon rudi ko yudon rudi, dunga yunga chung duwa le pengi warasa.
So those are actually the mind goal of the middle mindset people. However, that's going to help us, like we consider ourselves not the upper one, but the lower one. So even for the lower, that small-minded people, even for the small-minded people like us, if we continuously think about the impermanence and the ugliness of this samsara and suffering of this samsara and trying to renounce the attitude, develop the attitude of renouncing this samsara, then it's going to help us also minimize our mental suffering as well as physical suffering.
No, yeah, that me down about that. Doing out to the Yabuji Samutangina. And the Kora Deko solely the Sodan Rachera, solely. By the number which was solely here. This sort of Kokaba two Sinamaso and Yagayora. Oh, solely Sodan Drive. A quiet Pinzo to Zuliaco. Shinji Saba to change to this and Gora.
So that's why here we have a metaphor, saw, cutting the wood saw. So it is the sharp teeth of the saw. Samsaric possessions are something like the teeth of a saw that cuts through. So if we continuously think about the impermanence of things, then our attitude of cutting the attachment to these things will be minimized. And the saw of the samsaric possessions is going to be made blunt. And we will be thinking about the improving.
Oh, that's Koya Nelly Longeres or Pusum Sabatazulia. Net Hagbar Shinji, Chakbe Shiji Marese. Go I give a Shiji Res, down Niju said calling Niju said some that is ago.
So that's why every samsaric possessions, good or bad, they are basis of suffering, and they are the basis of our sadness, and they are the basis of our feeling of our developing the feeling of renunciation. The sad situation is the basis to developing renunciation.
Oh, that I never said that. I did because she said that.
No.
Page Sado Yamendo.
Chudam Chidam.
Did you Gazendo? Did you do when you tuition camera?
Jujubaresha.
Yeah.
Come a Judus.
Come at you. Oh, that's an LED you shan't that the same watching. Don't do that. Don't young Ellen Daba Shishiko or the dance. Damn never did raw.
No.
I did do which because my chester is reduced. Long as yeah. Midaba Tunga when you with the Sambal Tene, and it damn ever. Ramaway Tang you to be Kansa Meba. Ramaway Tang you to be Ne, Lu Longu Meba. Don't when you talk about Koti, Yabuchi Sam Shinipeng or this.
So, to understand emptiness of self, and everything is emptiness. Everything is empty, non-existent as emptiness, and everything, there is no the selflessness of everything. That is about the emptiness and self. Third seal, that everything is emptiness and selfless.
뭐 맨날 아주 늘렸으니까 소소류단 셈이라 교단 깨를 때는 거 라면에 깨지깨지게 교라진 게 싶더라고요. 믿어봤을 때. 다 동해 왔을 교환감에 레던 녀면 병하게 그 동해기 시지고 라면에 뭐 뒤치체고 같이 그러도 제거 지래 되더라. 근데 되니 깨지깨지게 교단 깽교환게 라면에 교라진 게 지다. 아니 교환감에 레던 녀면 병하게 동해와 연계질이야. 라완도 주바치 연구 말해서 라완도 주베 풍부 연구 말해 라완도 주베 다요 말해 라완도 주베 셈요 말해 동반일이야 고아차이라 디펜디오라 동탐이 미다보다 동해서 맞지.
So in order to understand impermanence and understand the nature of suffering, we need to know this emptiness, not self-arising things. Otherwise, if we go on thinking the self-arising things, then that is causing us the suffering. If we think about there's nothing that comes up by itself, non-self-arising thing, and that is the nature of emptiness and selflessness.
다 냥엘에 대봐 시시게 왔어라. 냥엘에 대봐 시시게 왔어라. 냥엘에 대봐 시시게 왔어나. 근데서 wana. 냥엘에 대봐서 타르바티스고라. 나도 동반이검 발레테네 냐모토서 신도. 다돈 심바다 차당로 소바 냐모강가 바 신도네. 애는 그 냥데세트 또 뭐라. 냥에서 냐모를 시고라. 동해기 교정게 되는 양해에서 거라. 냐모 방송에 양해를 대봐 통으로 양대 톱스 타르바 톱스 거라.
타르바디 양배 양해를 대봐 톱나 상기버려.
말해. 양해를 대봐 톱스는 자좀 봐세더라. 냐모 자좀라. This way.
So the fourth seal is in Tibetan, it is Nyangelen Depa Shiva. Nyangelen Depa is Shiva in Tibetan. So it means like when you achieve this level of arahats, then you permanently abide in peace. That means it, like if you achieve the level of arahats, then you abide in peace.
This one.
No.
냥엘에 대봐 톱스나 때는 가서래. 저바 말려봐 시와시고라. 군족지 저바 유다 유젠다 수자 저로를 잘라 속바다. 어때도 강가데 신도는 그 동상 차게오라. 시와세데 직 나를 여버체 매버서베 텐데게 말했어. 그런 랑신게 랑은에 주베 동발을 속바. 로아 이렇게 봐. 랑은데 주베 동방 저반이 시와. 군족에 저바. So
this means Shiva, when you abide in peace, means when you have reached that state, then to yourself, to your understanding, you don't perceive anything as object, and you don't perceive anything as subject as well. Subject and object. So there is, because there is the selflessness of the object and lessness of the subject, both are selflessness. And in that state of mind, you abide in peace. So that is what it is.
This way, yeah. How that is, isn't it? Yeah.
Thank you, Geshe. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachment and hatred. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachment and hatred. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachment and hatred. We'll resume the teachings with Rinpoche for those